Hi, where am I? What am I doing? Why am I wearing glasses? I'm Jason Wygant, and this is my YouTube channel, and I really feel desperate to get more work done because even though I've done the kind of work that most people would kill to do and would probably pay to do instead of get paid to do, I still feel guilty that I haven't done enough because there was an entire weekend off of racing, and my great ambitions, that desire, that thirst is not being quenched. And that is going to be the first of these videos that I do after I drop off my teenage daughter at a grocery store so she could get on the bus. You actually have to drive a car to a bus stop to get your kid to take a bus. That will be a future topic of a video where we've completely undone our society in so many ways, and that's a perfect example. But that's not the topic of this video. The topic of this video is the fact that I'm doing this video and why I'm doing it, why I'm shooting a video while I'm driving after dropping the kids off from school. And the reason why is because after a weekend off, I feel like I'm not accomplishing enough in life. I've had one weekend where I didn't have to work. Even the weekends where I don't go to a race like Daytona, which will be an eternal regret in my life, having not gone to the Daytona Supercross. A, because I didn't go to the Daytona Supercross, which hurt real bad. I'd gone 24 straight years. Also, I'm feeling guilty because when I stayed home, I really wanted to get a chance to see my son play basketball on a Saturday afternoon. So even though he was feeling slightly sick, he was recovering from the flu, I said it would be fine if he played these 2 playoff games, and then he was really tired after that, and then he ended up with mono, and then that ruined spring break, and the last 2 weeks of our lives have pretty much been spent doing absolutely nothing because most of the stuff that I do is taking my kid to sports or practicing sports with him. He can't do that right now because he has mono, and I didn't have a race to go to last weekend, and those two factors have made me wonder, am I actually accomplishing anything in life? And I don't mean my entire life. I just mean I can't go 4 days without doing something massive and not feel guilty about it, which is what led me to do this video. And I think I'm going to do more of these every morning. I even bought microphones for it. I'll probably screw up the audio. You might not be hearing this right now, but if you are, shout out to a sponsor that I got for these videos, which is Motorsport at motorsport.com. And what I love about Motorsport is they have discounts and deals and clearance. And in fact, if I can get the microphones to work and do these videos consistently, I will tell you where the good deals are, but you'll have to email me to do that. And I will give you my personal email, which is jasonw@racerxonline.com. It's been the same email that I've had since 2001. It's probably going to ruin it right now that I've just given it out publicly. Okay, I got to get talking because I've got to get gasoline soon. Not a lot though, because I drive a Honda Ridgeline. Great gas mileage for what it is. A truck, not a car. Bad gas mileage for a car. Good gas mileage for a truck. Feel free to tell me what you actually think of the Ridgeline. Is it a car or a truck in the comments? But the point of this video is not the Motorsport sponsor, and it is not driving a Honda Ridgeline and trying to get gas or figuring out these microphones. The point of the video is I have to do the video because since I don't have 7 days a week of racing and sports practice to worry about, I feel like I'm not accomplishing enough in life. And that is absolutely ridiculous. It hit the Nadar apex yesterday. I felt so guilty. I didn't know what to do. I actually had what felt like some free time on my hands. Most of my Mondays and Tuesdays are dominated by running the RacerX website, which I've actually done since 2011. We never even bother to tell you how the sausage is made. By the way, anything you've seen on the RacerX website since 2011, that's almost 15 years now, runs through me. My title is editorial director, but what that really means is I'm the guy that runs the website. I have great right-hand men. It's Chase Stallo back in the day, Mitch Kendra now. It's a multi-pronged, multi-person effort, but my name's at the top. Not an actual chart that exists, but my name is at the top. If you've seen it on the website, I've either assigned it or edited it or saw it for the last 15 years. But on a Monday and Tuesday when we don't have a race, there's not that much to do. And I also didn't have to bring my kids to a bunch of practices. And then I started saying to myself, am I really accomplishing anything in life? Now here I am, getting to do a job that was such a dream that I didn't even have the dream of doing it because I didn't even think it would be possible. This would be like when you have a dream where somebody's robbing a store and then suddenly you grow superpowers and fly and save the world. That seems unrealistic, right? But maybe you've had a dream like that. I didn't even have a dream that I'd be announcing these races on TV and working for a magazine. We didn't know there were going to be websites when I was a kid. I didn't even know I'd have that dream back then because it didn't even seem realistic enough to have it. And here I am doing it. And by the way, on this Monday and Tuesday, when I felt like I really had not accomplished a lot, on Monday night, I was on the phone interviewing Eli Tomac. Yes. Check out the Re-Raceables podcast. Myself, Steve Mathis, Seth Rarick, we called Eli Tomac to ask him about his domination ride at Hangtown in 2015. One of the most dominant motocross races ever, and one the fans love to this day. We had the chance, because we have his phone number, and he trusts us, to talk to Eli Tomac on the phone about this all-time ride. People would pay to do that. This week, I'm setting up interviews with other people. We shot the SMX Insider Show, myself and Jason Thomas. We're going to interview the radio play-by-play announcer for the Atlanta Braves, who happens to be a big Supercross, motocross fan. We're going to interview him today at 10 a.m. Also setting up an interview with Jalek Swoll because we haven't talked to him for a while. Those are really cool things, but it still doesn't feel like enough. It still doesn't feel like enough because I'm used to being absolutely pinned. A little dark secret of working in this industry, hold on, there's sun on my face and I gotta be able to see this light, is that you essentially always work 7 days a week. Now, if you're a racer, it's fine because the guilt of the racer is, even if I could take the day off, if I did, I'd probably feel like I'm not doing enough and it's gonna affect the confidence on the weekends. Only later in life do the riders, and the magic age is 28 by the way, get to the point where they can live life and be a racer and not have the two things completely intertwined 24/7. I think that's why a lot of the riders these days are actually getting better when they have kids, because you can't do it. You literally have to turn it off when you're playing with a 2-year-old. You cannot be 100% focused on being an athlete or a racer or how the results are going to be on the weekend or how playing with a 2-year-old at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday is going to affect the results the next week. You have to turn it off. I get to turn it off when I have to take my kid to sports practice or help him practice, but I didn't get to do that recently. Gosh, this sun is cray-cray right now. And when I didn't get to do that, and I'm programmed to do that, and I'm programmed to work 7 days a week, and I'm programmed to bomb the website with content every Monday and Tuesday, and I didn't get to do that, I started to feel guilty. Even though I interviewed Eli Tomac, even though we're talking to the play-by-play announcer of the Atlanta Braves about the comparison between those sports and Supercross today, even though I'm going to interview Jalek Swoll later this afternoon, and I have a couple of interviews, even with that, I did not feel accomplished enough, which led me to decide to do this first video, and I'll continue to post these on my YouTube channel if you like it, so like and subscribe. And we're at the 8-minute mark. So in these videos, I'm going to give a lot of my philosophies on life, and I wanted to start it with this one. The point of this whole video is, we all know, and we are all told to believe, that having great ambition is one of the most powerful elixirs in life. It might be the most powerful. Talent, hard work, all those things, yeah, they're important. But simply having the ambition of having huge goals and being able to do whatever it takes and willing to do whatever it takes to get to those goals, there might not be anything in life that defines success or failure more than that. I think this light turned green, we're gonna try. I have that great ambition, and when I talk about these racers feeling guilty if they don't do something 7 days a week, it's gonna affect their results of the weekend. They have that ambition too. Great ambition is great, but unfortunately, it's also a curse. Because when you have great ambition, you are never, ever truly happy or satisfied, even when you're accomplishing incredible things. So on the racing side, everyone that's into this sport, the dream is to be a factory rider, right? To get paid to race motorcycles and have people around you that they are 100% focused on helping make you better at racing motorcycles. But even while those riders are doing that, they are often miserable because they're only worried about, if I got third, I should have got second. And if I got second, I should have got first. And if I got first, well, I might get beat the next weekend. And there's also a championship, so this win might not do it either. That's the penalty of having great ambition. And it's the same thing with me. I just feel like I'm working a job. most of the time. And if I don't have a race to cover, if I don't have a normal job to do, I feel guilty. That's the price you pay with great ambition. And now I have to pay a different price. I've got to put fuel in this Ridgeline, not as much as a full-size truck, but I've now completed a video that I can put on my YouTube channel and feel a little less guilty about not accomplishing enough this week. Thanks to Motorsport for backing whatever these videos are going to be. Like and subscribe and tell me if you want more of this stuff. I have many philosophies on life. But when you see a rider, like say Ryan Villopoto in 2014, dominating Supercross races and winning titles and not looking happy, remember, it's the penalty of great ambition. There's never enough when you're super ambitious. And it's something you got to wrestle with all the time. Even when you're getting to interview Eli Tomac on a Monday night about one of the most epic motocross rides ever, you still wonder, was that enough? And then you got to do videos to feel like you did a little more.